I'm going to give you a tour around the Royal Solaris Hotel in San Jose del Cabo. A good place to start is a room, and this is a deluxe room, which don't let the name fool you. It's the most basic room, the least luxurious, and the most affordable. And it's actually a pretty decent room. It's not the nicest hotel room we've ever stayed in, but when we're here, we want to be out on the beach. Although we were going to upgrade to the ocean view, and we're kind of glad we didn't, because on the 4th floor, we got this room that faces the road, but a huge deck and lounge chairs and so on. So if you get a chance to get on the 4th floor, go for it. Now, the hotel, it kind of creates a U around all the pools that are at San Jose. And so this is not an adult-only resort. So the first pool we're going to come up to is a small wading pool that is attached to the main pool. And, the rec staff, in the morning and the afternoon, they always have some kind of games or activities going. So they keep the guests pretty entertained if you are there for that kind of entertainment. The hotel in general is pretty clean. This is the swim up bar. We enjoyed the resort. There's only 2 a la carte restaurants, and the rest are buffet type experiences. There are about 3 buffet type restaurants that are available at different times of the day. This over here is actually the diving pool, so you can take a dive lesson, or a scuba lesson in this pool. Far in there is the pizza restaurant, or the pizza stand, and you have to try that. That is amazing. It's kind of the wood fire or pizza ovens. This here is actually the one of the buffet areas, but in the morning, this is the breakfast area for VIPs and members of the Royal Solaris Club. And this over here that we're coming up to is the adult pool. Nice in a family resort to have an adult-only pool, because it's a little quieter here, and seemed to be, for us, we had no trouble finding a lounge chair. And in the back far end is a hot tub as well. We're going to take you a bit of a walk around. This is the Cafe Solaris. So in the morning, there's a breakfast buffet in there, and the food was really good. The staff in the resort were amazing. All the wait staff and the staff in the restaurants were amazing. Just in case you wondered where the Mona Lisa went, well, it's here at the resort. The front desk staff were not as amazing as the resort staff. They were at times a little bit rude and not as helpful. This is actually the Italian restaurant, and they do a French night as well, so French cooking some nights. The Italian restaurant was fantastic. The Mexican restaurant, not quite up to the standard. This is a junior club, some pinball games and some foosball table for the kids. Now, if you're a parent of young kids, towards the end of the video, I'll tell you why you would want to choose this, or show you why you would want to choose this resort. It was kind of, we managed to get a pretty good deal, and so we thought we would try it out. Although we did find there are a lot of upcharges. So for example, Friday night they had a tiki party, and so you could have dinner, but it was $45 US a head. Now most resorts would just have those kind of events for their guests, and certainly the Solaris did have some events like that. But essentially they shut down one of the restaurants to bring extra staff to manage the tiki party, and you have to pay an upcharge. So here is actually the theater, and this is actually another dining option, because at 6:30 most nights they have a buffet down there as well, and then there's a show afterwards. The downside of that area is it is large communal tables, so you can sit with the most interesting people or maybe not. This is actually really bad footage because the gym is actually down in it, almost like a dungeon. And at one point, I'm sure this is really good equipment. It was actually good equipment, but the gym is actually in not great shape. But here is the reason. If you're a parent, you might want to check out this resort. This is actually up on the 4th floor, looking down out of the windows, but I'm also going to show you some footage down low. But they have a great kids club, and a lot of the guests were talking about how great the activities were and how much fun their kids had. They have the water slide here with the water slide toboggans, and around the whole splash pool and climbing areas and water park and so on. There's a lot of lounge chairs, so if you're a parent, you can just sit down and watch your kids having a good time. As you can see, this is actually a great place for kids to play, and there were quite a few kids playing, especially early in the morning or towards the end of the day where it starts to get cooler. You know, the resort had more upcharges than we would have been happy with, and there was a lot of things like if you lost the lock to your safe, you had to pay $100. If you lost your pool towel cards, you had to pay $30, and so on. And extra charges like internet. Each device was $15 a day for internet service, and more of the resorts we're staying at, the internet is included. And above and beyond, there wasn't great bandwidth in the resort, so most of the time we couldn't even get access to the internet. Even though we paid for 2 devices, we couldn't get access most of the time in our room. Best place in the resort, if you are trying to use your internet or your Wi-Fi, is right in the lobby bar, because the router is right there. So yeah, actually, the closer you sit to the router, the better reception you get. But anyways, you know, if as a grandparent, might bring my grandchild to this resort, you know, once he's a little older. But that would be kind of the big reason to come, I think, for a family vacation. Okay, and this coming up is Lucy, and she's the best show on the resort. So get her to make you an omelet or eggs easy over. She's amazing, and give her a good tip.